How's it going, everyone? It's Monday evening. It's a great start to the new week because it's beautiful outside, and I mean, this has to obviously encourage everyone to be healthy. I don't know what the weather has to do with being healthy, but at least when I see nice weather like this, then it makes me want to go outside and enjoy it. And the only way to enjoy it is to be healthy because no matter how nice it is, if you're not healthy, then you won't enjoy it. So that's my thought for that. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about value. I try to, do these talks. I don't want to call it preaching because that's not what it is. I have a belief system, and I think that belief system, for myself anyway, is to try to help others to guide them to a better lifestyle. It's a holistic sort of approach. I wouldn't even say sort of, it's an holistic approach because a better lifestyle is not going to come on its own. A better lifestyle is going to come when you, sort of like when you want to make bread. You look at what the ingredients are and you compile all the ingredients, and then you follow the directions and you put everything in its place as it should be. You put it all together, and in the very end, if you follow the directions and you utilized all the ingredients, you will get what it is that you want in the end, which, if it's bread, it's bread. And if it's a lifestyle, then you will have a healthy lifestyle. And a healthy lifestyle is no different than brushing your teeth every day. It is something that you would do automatically without really a lot of thought or you don't have to think about it anymore because it's just so much a part of you. We brush our teeth every day, we shower every day, we put on our makeup, if you're a woman, of course, and we take care of ourselves. And these are the things that we do automatically because we were raised to do so. When it comes to a healthy lifestyle, this is a way of living our life. It means the things that we do automatically without really having to think about, meaning eat well for our bodies and eat exactly what our body needs, not just whatever we feel like eating and guessing and so on and so forth. It does not mean dieting because dieting is not attributed to a healthy lifestyle. As a matter of fact, dieting is more attributed to an unhealthy lifestyle because in the very end of it all, most people that are dieting are not losing fat, they're losing weight, but the wrong kind of weight. And this ultimately, in the end, makes them less energy, makes them more susceptible to illnesses and sicknesses and so on and so forth. So I said I wanted to talk about value. Value is a very important word. It means a lot. Value is something that you care about so greatly that you will do anything you can to accomplish what it is that you want. So, for example, I work with a lot of mothers. Mothers value their children. So for the most part, mothers who value their children try to instill in their children very positive belief systems. For example, they tell their children that they love them. They tell their children that regardless of what they look like or, whether they're heavy or not heavy or fat or not fat, they would love them. Whether they're rich or poor, they would love them. And this is very important because as a mother teaching their children this concept, what they're really teaching their children is that there's unconditional love there. And love is not determined by the things that you have or the things that you look like or that you've accomplished. Love is just purely love. So mothers will instill that, and this in itself is something that they do because they value their children. I use this example a lot of times, but for example, if I said to somebody, I would like to have you give me money, maybe give me 100,000 euros, which would never probably happen, would it? But when you ask somebody, for example, to give you that kind of money, they right away will tell you, well, of course not. I mean, I don't know you, or I don't have that kind of money. I work very hard for my money, so, we have to spend it very consciously. So, no, I'm sorry, but I cannot help you. So the most abrupt example of value in this respect is now that same person who wasn't willing to, say, give me 100,000 euros. If somebody, for example, I hate the example really, but if someone kidnapped their child and they came home from work and they saw an email or some kind of interaction saying, we have your child and we want to have, by the end of the week, 500,000 euros, that parent isn't going to say, let's see, I wonder if I can. Well, I'd like to. I wish I could. I hope to. No, they don't do that. Purely out of love and value, they will do whatever they have to do to get that money to get their child back. That means selling the farm, selling their prized possessions. It can mean doing whatever, going to the bank, getting a loan. It doesn't make a difference, really. The bottom line is that every waking moment will be a moment thinking about how it is that they're going to get that money, because they value the child so much that they will not allow anything to happen to that child. Great, that's excellent. You understand value. So the question is how much do you value yourself? Now, as soon as I ask that question, I'm going to get two types of answers. One of them is going to be, there's no time for me, really. I'm a mother and a wife, and that means that I'm the last one on the list to be taken care of. First it's my children, then it's my husband, then it's my parents and my siblings, and hell, I'll take care of anyone before I take care of myself. See, now that means you value everyone else more than yourself. And then there will be those that say, absolutely not, I'm number one, I value myself, I know the meaning of value. But then when it comes right down to it, to describe that value, they eat at McDonald's, they eat one meal per day, they think they know what they're doing, so they're dieting, they've spent the last 20 years going to this person and this company and that one and this one, taking this product and that product, and are unhealthier more now today than before, heavier and more now today than before, and so on and so forth. So those are the two types of people I get. One that they don't value themselves whatsoever, and they will admit it. And the other that say they do value themselves completely, however, still do very little to show it. If you think that valuing yourself is evident by the way you take care of yourself, that would be true. But if you don't eat well, if you don't exercise, if you're not active, if you don't think about the consequences of your actions, if you don't value today in the sense of where your health is today and where it's going to be in 10 years from now, then it's not really value. Because the number one asset a human being has, it's not their parents. Sorry to tell you this. It's not your husband or wife. Sorry to tell you that as well. It's not your children. God forbid. It cannot be your children. And you can argue with me and say I'm wrong, but no, you're wrong. Because the number one asset in this world is you. Because without you, there is no children. Without you, there is no husband or wife. Without you, there's nothing that you can do for anyone. So as much as you think that you value yourself by putting everyone else before you, think again. Because as I've always said, and I'm a firm believer in this, women are the power individual in the home. Why? Because women hold up their children, hold up their husband, hold up their husband's wives, or sorry, husband's parents, because he will ask his wife, please help my parents. She will take care of her own parents. She may have to work in this day and age. She may even have a dog or a cat, even probably has a home. So she's got to clean all the house and do all these things. And if all of these things that she's holding like this, as I said, she's holding them. What happens if something happens to her? What happens to the children when mom is in the hospital? What happens to the husband when mom is in the hospital? Who's going to make the food? Who's going to take care of the kids? Who's going to wash the house, clean the clothes? Who's going to bring in that income? Life stops as soon as somebody gets sick, and everyone falls. So, value. We can't talk about things that we don't know. So, it's not unheard of that someone who's completely valued their life and taken care of themselves still hasn't had a heart attack while running 10 kilometers. But when that happens, usually through an autopsy, they find out that somebody had a heart condition or something like that. But 92% of all illnesses come from fat. Obesity is the number one cause of this, and heart disease is the number one killer in the world. And don't forget breast cancer, heart disease, as I said, cancers of all kinds, strokes, everything is coming from fat. So these things are waiting to pop out in somebody's life. Now, predominantly, it's true. These are illnesses that would afflict somebody who was 70 or 80. But that was like 40 years ago. Now people are having heart attacks in their 40s and in their 30s. And kids are dealing with cancer in their 20s and in their teens. So there has to be a wake-up call. Now, I believe that if everyone was to pay attention to what I'm actually saying, you would then begin to understand that true value is doing everything, as I said in the beginning, to accomplish what it is that is most important. Most important, it's your life. Without you, there's nothing. So, number one, you need to take care of your life. Value your life. Your body is a temple. You must take care of it. You must do for that body what is necessary so that it stays with you. I don't understand the logic in any of this. I look around the country and I see garbage all over the place. Garbage on the streets, garbage outside people's homes, buildings broken down. It looks to me, unfortunately, it's really quite sad. I was at Dingley Cliffs once and I was looking over the edge, and what I saw was used fridges and stoves and junk and garbage that people just discarded. You know why? Because they don't value their culture and their space in that respect. But I have rarely walked into a person's home that was not impeccably cleaned. Yeah, the outside is black. There's no flowers. There's no niceties. But inside is impeccable. Funny. See? Value. Value those things. Look at your life and think about your body and think of it like the house. It's inside that needs to be impeccable. Your health in here needs to be the best. So much like, you don't need to say, for example, create an exterior that looks amazing as long as what's on the inside is healthy. But if what's on the inside is healthy, it's a foregone conclusion that the outside is going to look healthy as well. We need to start to establish this rule. We can't just say life is irrelevant and life, if I die at 40, I die, who cares? Really? Who cares? You have children, you're not going to see your grandchildren. I mean, in my mind, anyone who's in their 40s who feels a pain in their chest, they go, is this the one? They're worried right away. So it shows you that deep down inside, they care. They just don't care enough to do what it takes to change that outcome. You don't have to be 40 and have a heart attack if you take care of yourself. Longevity of life, truly, even in this culture today, our bodies are pretty strong, as it should be apparent. We're pretty strong, but if you take care of yourself and you do the right things for yourself, you can have a good, strong, healthy life. Establish this connection for yourself. You are number one. You have to be number one. There's no two ways about it. You have to change your thinking. Now, no one's going to force you. And that thinking that you have where you're not number one has been pushed into your brain from a child because of your parents and their parents and so on and so forth. But those days are over. We're not living in the same culture as we were 100 years ago. We weren't eating chemicals back then like we are today. All the foods with pesticides and herbicides, all the chicken raised with drugs, all the beef raised with drugs, pro-hormones. You have food that contains plastic and chemicals. You can't even read the side of a label without reading this acid, that acid, preservative, so you can continue. I mean, don't you? I mean, have you ever had these boxes of milk in your cupboard and it's there for 6 months? Milk preserved for 6 months? Please, you can't do that. That's chemicals, and you are taking it down, no problem. You know, I have a way of changing people's lifestyles. That's what I do. No one in this country actually does what I do. And there's a reason for that. Number one, my brand of education is not about weight loss, though it's exactly what you'll get, but it's about fat loss. But it's not just about fat loss. It's about making a connection, because in reality, I don't care how many times you try. You can go spend 20 euros on a program. You can go to someone else because they're cheaper. Cheaper. Excellent. I love that concept. You know, here's a car. It's a great car, and it's reliable, and it has a warranty of, say, 20 years. And it costs 3,000 euros more than this piece of crap car that looks kind of the same with a warranty of 6 months, and you go, but I can save 3,000 euros, so I'm buying it. Really? What a headache. After 6 months, the car breaks down, and you have to either fix it and continually fix it and fix it and fix it and fix it, and by the time the 20 years are up, the other car, which the warranty lasts that long, you would have paid 10 times the amount for the other piece of crap car. I mean, we'd need to think a little bit further down the road. Anyway, going to someone that's cheaper doesn't make them educated. And what I've been doing for 30 years this January has been making people understand the connection between this in here and this right here. You are not going to change this at all if you don't change this. Here's a question for you, and then I'm almost done. What can you accomplish when you don't know? What can you accomplish when you don't know something? Well, if your answer is nothing, then you're absolutely right. You can't accomplish anything when you don't know anything. So right now I say, come to my home. Come. We'll have free dinner on me. I'll give you everything for free. Just come. If you don't know where I am, well, I guess you lost out because you'll never get it. I don't care about it, how bad you want it. You can't have it. Why? Because you don't know. And that is the difference between what is going on in the culture, not in this culture, because this education is not even put out there in North America. And there's a reason for it, which is another video. But if you're really wanting to change, and you really want to create the lifestyle, and you value your life, then this is really what you need to do. Stop thinking about how much. Stop thinking about how long and start thinking, what's the right direction for me? How can I do whatever it takes to make me the most valued individual in my own life so that I can live my life with quality, quantity, a reduction in all the issues that most people will face. You will not have to face it by decreasing the percentages of ever having to face it because you are healthy. And if you do these things and you make those decisions and you come to see me and you put this out in the open so that you can start to learn and be educated, well then it's a foregone conclusion you're going to change. I asked you what you can accomplish if you don't know anything, and you also said nothing. What can you accomplish when you know exactly how? Anything you want. Okay? Look at your business, look at your family. When you know how to do it, you do it right.